Well, good afternoon, everybody. Grace and peace to you from our Lord Jesus Christ. Welcome to another mediocre episode of Network Admin Life. I'm coming to you this week from our mobile command post here in Morgan Hill, California, where we're taking a little break, taking a little time off of work, and just relaxing out here, enjoying God's creation. Network Admin Wife is busy preparing herself some dinner in there. I'm still full from lunch, so I don't know if I'm going to eat dinner or not. Anyway, I thought I'd talk a little bit about the issues of the week. We had, let's see, and I'm sorry I don't have a laptop. I can't show you what I was doing because I have no internet out here. So I'm just recording this and I'm going to upload it when we get good internet. Sorry. Okay, so issue of the week. We had, I got a frantic call, actually a couple frantic calls from our help desk staff saying the entire east wing of the clinics is out. So we have a north wing and an east wing. It's shaped like a V. This wing was out. There's about 6 or so clinics in there. No internet, no telephones, no nothing. So this is just as I'm walking back in the door from lunch. So I walk over to my Intermapper display and I look, and sure enough, the entire Health Center East switch is showing red, which means it's not able to reach it. So I had a pretty good inkling of what that was. So not bothering to take any tools with me, I grabbed the only tool I thought I would need, a key. So I took the key to that closet and I went down there and opened that closet, which is actually just more like a cupboard in the hallway. Opened it up, and sure enough, it was very, very quiet in there. So I look, and the UPS that the switch is plugged into is off. So I just hit the power button, turned it back on, and I think I pretty much figured out why it's off. It seems that the help desk guys have added a lot of new telephones to that area. Telephones draw a lot of power from the switches, which means the switches have to draw a lot of power from the wall, or in this case, the UPS that they're plugged into. So when I turned those switches on, big message started flashing on the front of the UPS, overload. And so yeah, it's trying to deliver about 150% of the power that it's rated to provide. So mystery solved. Now we know why the power supply went off, or why the UPS shut itself off. And we also know that Scott needs to buy a bigger UPS or a second one for that area. And there's 4 switches. I need to maybe split the switches across 2 UPSs. So that was issue number 1. The second issue was our Manteca Clinic. Actually, there was 2 issues there. The first issue was we were closing it. It was closing down. So they had me rush out there, and we've got to be out of here in 2 weeks. So I get out there and I deinstall everything. But the clinic next door still needs network. Okay, so we're going to deinstall the carrier's equipment from my closet in the Manteca Clinic and put it over in the clinic next door. So we did that. And brought everything up, and it was all working great. Well, not 2 days later, we were told, we need to put everything back. We got to move people back into that clinic. Okay. So we can't call the carrier to move all the equipment back in 2 days. They just can't do it. So what we ended up doing was the connection from the carrier to me is just a copper, Cat 5 connection. So I had our facilities people run a couple of Cat 5 cables over. I only need one. They ran 2 just because if they're going to run 1, they're going to run 2. That's just the way they do it. So they ran a couple of Cat 5 cables over. I plugged the carrier's router into that Cat 5 cable, took the other end of it, plugged it into my equipment. Boom, we were all back in business. So that was issue number 2. Well, aside from having to take that stack of 3 switches and plug them all back in and make sure wireless was working again. And luckily, we hadn't taken any of the wireless access points down. And then issue number 3 was that just a few days prior, the clinic that we had moved this equipment to started reporting just very, very, very slow response. They don't use that network for data. They just use it for phones. We provide them phone service. They provide their own computer data network. My clinic next door, the Manteca Clinic, has phone and data. They weren't complaining before the move, but after they moved, the carrier moved the equipment over, this clinic next door, and all they had were 4 phones on a 50 meg circuit. We're saying the phones kept dropping off, phones kept going into survival mode. They would stop periodically and say detecting network, which means they're not seeing what they need to see. They're not seeing the route back to the hospital where all the routing is done. So I went out there with my laptop, I plugged in, and sure enough, we're getting like 45 meg download speed, that's pretty decent for a 50 meg circuit. 0.1 upload. Well, that's not right. So these are the same guys, not me, these are the same guys that couldn't get a Ubiquiti router to work right. So I called them, complained about it, and they said, okay, well, we'll look into it. First thing they said was, well, you don't have your port settings set up correctly. No, really, I haven't changed anything other than I took my switch out, hadn't made any changes to it, and then I put it back in. Well, yeah, when we see this type of problem with the mismatched up and download speeds, it's usually because you don't have your now they were grasping, coming up with reasons. Oh, your auto negotiation. Yeah, that won't work with our equipment. It always has. Well, yeah, okay, well, what do you want me to set it to? Well, let's, hang on, we'll get back to you. So there was close to 36 hours of waiting for them to get back to me. And then all of a sudden, the users call back and they say, hey, everything's working great, thanks for fixing it. You're welcome. I didn't do a thing. So apparently what had happened was the carrier had been consolidating some of their equipment on our hospital side. They had 2 or 3 routers over there. They consolidated them all into one router. And apparently they need to make some tweaks to whatever traffic shaping that they do. Because as if by magic, all of a sudden the up and download speeds matched. So anyway, the users at the clinic next door were much happier that their phones were staying up, and the users that we moved into the Manteca Clinic were much happier because they were getting faster up and download speeds. However, that story's not over because they're moving more and more users into that clinic. This is all due to COVID-19 response. We have to move people into that area, out of office areas back at the main hospital, moving from the hospital to this clinic so that we can expand patient areas back at the hospital. So we're moving people into outbuildings, including this clinic. And since more and more people are getting put in this clinic, 50 meg is just not going to cut it for bandwidth. So next step is going to be up that bandwidth to probably 100 meg to start with. And if that still doesn't cut it, then I don't know. We'll see how fast I can get network out there. The problem is this particular area is AT&T doesn't have service there. Comcast doesn't have service there. This one carrier, Utility Telephone, is the only carrier that services that area, and they're pretty good, but they tend to kludge things together to give you the speeds they want, so, or the speeds that you ask for. So we'll see what they can provide us. So anyway, I'm on vacation right now, so I'm going to keep this short and sweet. Thanks always, everybody, for watching. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you. Welcome aboard. Thank you for everybody that reacts to my first video where I talk about my faith in God, and a lot of people have commended me on that, and yeah, that's I don't know. I don't know where I would be, you know. I made a video a while back about everything that was in my tool bag, and the one tool that I forgot to show in that tool bag, and I keep kicking myself for not showing that tool, was the Bible. The Bible is one of my #1 tools for doing my job. So if you need help doing your job, grab your Bible, go through there, and see what God's trying to tell you today. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. God bless, and we'll catch you next time.